Okay, I want to preface this by saying, as I usually do with these videos, that the term homosexuality came from Germany 150 years ago. Before that, no language in the world had a word saying that it was a normal human sexuality type thing. There was no word for it in any language because they just made up this idea that this is a normal thing, that you stick your genitals in people's mouths and butts, and it's a normal thing, and it's called a sexuality. This was created by Germany, and yet it's now in every language in the world, and it's also, I mean, it last 60, 70 years has been in the Bible, the Christian Bible, but before that it wasn't in there. Anyways, I can go on forever, but I'm just saying that this is a new thing. People are treating it like it's always been there, but it hasn't, and it is really just a fetish that they're calling a sexuality, and you're breeding it. They're basically being brainwashed into saying, "Oh, you're too lazy to find a woman. Yeah, you're gay." I mean, people who are it makes it so that because it's easier just to hang out with the same sex. They're similar, or whatever. Starting a family, finding a woman, starting a family, everything like that, it's hard, but it's largely a depopulationist agenda. That's how they get conservatives involved. But you're actually destroying people's souls. It's very disgusting, very disturbing, and it messes up the energy channels in the body. That's why they're more likely to commit suicide and whatever. I mean, in our society now, you have to be in the closet heterosexual to be socially acceptable. And yet people who see themselves as homosexual or whatever are still 6 times more likely to commit suicide. That's not because they're shunned in society. That's because they messed up their energy channels in their body. That their bodies are made to their sex organs are made for making more babies. That is what they're for. They're not for doing other things. And messing with this messes up the energy channels in the body, and it makes a bunch of blockages and destroys their body essentially, and changes it actually physically changes their body. Anyways, what I want to talk about though is how it ruins all the relationships around us. Like, for instance, at work, I'm like, oh, you know what? I would like to hang out with this guy that, just talk to him or whatever. We have things in common. I would like to be able to say, hey, you want to go for coffee or whatever? But I'm afraid to. I'm afraid to because they're going to think, oh, he's going to he's going to think I'm wanting to touch his genitals, you know? It goes into all kinds of areas. It destroys so many possible friendships or existing friendships or whatever. Because if someone's like, I had a friend say to me, oh, yeah, I'm coming out of the closet kind of thing, right? And I've known him all my life. And I'm just like, you know what? That's just like, I can never hang out with you because, it's just disgusting. It's like you smell like sewer water. It's like you just threw sewer in my face. It's just such disgusting behavior. It's dirty. It's called dirty for a reason. Dirty pictures, dirty whatever. It's just dirty behavior. It's a fetish. Your penises are for making babies. They're not for sticking in bums or mouths or whatever. And yet our society is so extremely brainwashed. Everybody's just completely tricked, and it has destroyed family relationships. It's destroyed any kind of normal, like, hanging out, friendship, brother type, whatever, hey bro, it's because everyone's just afraid of being, or else they're just wanting to do these disgusting things to each other. Um, it's very, very disturbing, very disturbing, and it basically I just I don't I've lost a lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of whatever, because they have indicated that they want to um, pursue disgusting behavior with me. And it's really like they smell like sewer after that. You don't want to, somebody, you can't think about anything else except that they smell like sewer water if somebody has sewer on them, right? It's just like you can't think about anything else. You just avoid them after that, you know? And you don't want to come across to somebody as saying, as saying, "Oh, let's go for coffee," or whatever, and then they think that, like now our society is so um, manipulated, hypnotized, like washed into thinking that this is normal behavior, that they think everybody is just like this. Everybody is like into this disgusting, filthy sewer water behavior, and so they just assume that if you want to hang out with someone of the same sex, that's what you're saying. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you just go sit at home and watch TV. I grew up in the 1980s. This was not. It was still normal back then to like hang out with people of the same sex, and it wasn't like, you know what I mean. Now, it's just so prevalent, this demented behavior and this demented thinking, that this should just be in all relationships almost. It seems like it's destroyed all my relationships. That's what I'm saying, is this idea, this concept, this behavior has destroyed so many relationships in my life. It just baffles me. I'm awestruck when I think about how much it has destroyed just in my own life. It is extremely destructive behavior. The gods and Buddhas are not okay. If you look at the Bible, right? Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, Lot was in Sodom. What did the guys do? They gang stalked him. These guys gang stalked him to his house, surrounded his house, and demanded that the men come out so they could do disgusting behavior with them, like have sex with them. And Lot refused, and he was like, "Well, you could have my daughters." But they were like, "No, we don't want our daughters. We want the men." That's because they're so demented. Okay, it's a once you mess up the energy channels, they're flowing in a certain way, and you have to like fix things. Kind of complicated, but I think that once you make an energy blockage in the body, it's kind of stuck there, and it continues, and it has to be fixed somehow with thinking, or with your thinking changing or whatever. But anyways, the next day, of course, Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed by God. Destroyed. This is not okay behavior. It is not okay with the gods and Buddhas that created us, that gave us sex organs for making babies. It is not okay behavior. It is extremely, extremely dirty, filthy behavior. Sewer water behavior. You smell like absolute sewer water to any upright person, to any god or Buddha. We just smell like absolute filth and should just be cleaned out with some kind of like extremely strong disinfectant. That's what Sodom and Gomorrah was. They just were cleaned out with some really, really powerful disinfectant and destroyed them all, because they were all bad. They were all completely just beyond saving. Anyways, I'm ranting, but really, I mean, it just bothers me, because sometimes I'm just like, this is a cool guy. I would like to hang out with him, but I never would now, because I'm afraid they're gonna think this to me. They think that like that I'm into this kind of behavior or whatever. Unless, of course, I had the conversation with them and they're like, "Yeah, it's stupid, whatever." They feel the same way about this topic. But I mean, it's hard to bring up this topic too, it really. But anyways, I'm ranting. But I'm ranting because I'm really mad. I'm really, and really mad that nobody else is doing anything. Nobody else even talks about this. Come on, people. Make some more YouTube videos. Talk about this. Let's fix our freaking society.